Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavatam overview class. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नितिनामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. We are discussing from the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and last time we discussed how Krishna, after uh, protecting Parikshit, who was there in the womb of Uttara, then reciprocating with Yudhishthir, taking all the Pandavas to Bhishma. Then he departed from Hastinapur, and we saw the various feelings of separation, Vipralamba Bhava. सत्संगान् मुक्त दुसंगो हातुम नोत्सहते बुधा कीर्त्यमानं यशो यस्य सकृत् आकर्ण्यरोचनम् यस्मिन्यस्तधिया पार्थ सहेरन् विरहं कथं दर्शन स्पर्श संलाप शयनासन भोजनैः. So Sut Goswami describes that anybody who has given up the bad association and who has come in the association of the devotees of the Lord, and they have heard about the Lord, they can also not leave the association of the Lord. What to speak of the Pandavas? These Pandavas, they were sitting with Krishna, dining with Krishna, they were doing everything, all their activities with Krishna, for Krishna. So it is natural that they will experience intense separation from Krishna. So after describing the feelings of separation from Krishna, now the feelings of union will be described in the 11th chapter, which is entitled Lord Krishna's Entrance into Dwaraka. Again, a very beautiful, heart-touching chapter, in which Krishna is going to describe the feelings of union. Sud Goswami is going to describe the feelings of union which all the Dwarka Vasis had for Krishna. That is a Sambhoga. So 10th chapter was Vipralamba, now 11th chapter is Sambhoga. So Lord, when he reached Dwarka after passing through so many of the various provinces, he sounded his transcendental conchal Panchajanya. And the transcendental conchal, we know that, when Krishna, he sounded that conchal in Kurukshetra, Hridayani Vyadarayat. The sound of Krishna's conchal and the conchal of the Arjuna shattered the hearts of the Kurus. But the sound of this conchal, it was a sound of jubilation for all the Dwarkavasis. So it depends on how you are related to Krishna. If we are related to Krishna as devotees, then anything related to Krishna will make us happy. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sathaiva bhajamyaham, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. In whatever mood you approach Krishna, Krishna reciprocates accordingly. So when Krishna, he sounded his conch shell just to pacify the dejection, because all the Dwarkavasis, they were feeling so very dejected because they were experiencing separation from Krishna for so many months. And we are also being separated. We have been separated from Krishna, from the Supreme Lord, since so many lifetimes. But the problem is, when we come in touch with devotees, when we come in touch with the process of Krishna consciousness, then we don't feel that happiness which we'll see in this chapter. Because our problem is, we have forgotten when we were with Krishna. Therefore, at our level, we have to learn to develop the association with the various processes of sadhana bhakti. That's what we discussed last time also. We have to learn to practice devotional practices, devotional sadhana so very sincerely, so very regularly, that if one day we are not able to do so, then we feel separation and we are hankering for it. We know there is, now COVID is going on, and since 1.5 years, the temple was not open for 1 year, and then it opened for few months. Somebody was telling that there is one devotee, and that devotee would come every day morning, and she would be there at the gate, although gates were closed. Every day 4:30, this Mataji would come, offer obeisances, and she would stand there with folded palms for half an hour, and then when the conch shell 5 a.m. conch shell blows, then she would offer her respects again, and then she would go. Like that she did throughout the lockdown period. That shows how the person who has developed such intense longing for the various aspects of bhakti, for attending Mangal Aarti, for doing chanting with devotees, that they cannot leave those things, and they cannot live without those things. So that is what we have to learn from all these various, although they are very, very esoteric pastimes, they are pure devotees, but at least we have to understand, these feelings also exist. So Srila Prabhupada, he writes that for the devotees, this conch shell, the sound of conch shell was very, very encouraging, because they were in separation from Krishna for so many months. And that's how Shankha, Shankha means Sham Khe iti Shankha. Sham means auspiciousness, and Khe means in the ether. So when the conch blows, the sound of the conch shell can destroy all the inauspicious sound vibrations. One devotee was telling that actually when conch blows and temple, the darshan opens, pure devotee actually faints. But as a sadhaka, we have to at least externally offer our full obeisances, show our eagerness to Krishna, that we are eager for your darshan. So when Lord blew the conch shell, it is very nice description is given. It was reddened by the touch of the transcendental lips of Krishna. The conch shell, when it was touched by the lips of Krishna, the conch shell was also reddened. It was like the swan, white swan, playing amidst the lotus stem in the river. Srila Prabhupada, he writes a very nice purport. He says, the redness of the white conch shell and due to the lip touch of the Lord is having a spiritual significance. What is that spiritual significance? Prabhupada writes that when we come in touch with Krishna, when we come in touch with spiritual objects, we also become spiritually surcharged. We also get transformed. Therefore, it is very, very important for all the devotees to somehow or other mold their life in such a way that they can be in touch with Krishna always. कृष्ण लीला अमृत सार तार शत शत धार दश दिके वहे यहाँ हैते सई चैतन्य लीला होए सरोवर अक्षय मनोहंस चराह तहाते. Kaviraj Goswami describes that Krishna Lila is like a river of nectar, and hundreds of tributaries are flowing in all the 10 directions. Dashu dike vahe yaha hoite. And Chaitanya Lila, the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, they are like the uh, inexhaustible reservoir of nectar. So devotee should be like a swan. Just like swan likes to roam and swim in the water and like to play with the lotus flower and the stems. Devotee should engage their mind in hearing these pastimes of Krishna. That is what we have to understand. Kaviraj Goswami describes a very beautiful verse. Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Kala Patho Jani Bhrajita Sadbhakta Valihamsa Chakra Madhupa Shreni Viharaspadam कर्णानन्दिकलध्वनिर्वहतु मे जिह्वा मरु प्राङ्गणे श्रीचैतन्यदयानिधे तव लसल् लीला सुधा स्वर्धुनि. So in this very beautiful verse of the first canto of Adi Leela, Kaviraj Goswami is telling Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Kala, the dancing, singing, chanting the names of the Lord Krishna, they are very, very dear to the devotees. All this river of Krishna Katha, it is beautified by the lotus flower of hearing, chanting, and singing the pastimes of the Lord. And the devotees, they are like the swans. Sadbhaktavali Hams Chakra Madhupa. They are like the swans, they are like the bees, they are like the ducks who are roaming around and tasting this water, tasting this nectar of Harikatha. Karnanandi kaladhvanir bhatu me jihva maru prangane. Our heart is like a desert now, full of where there is no water available, no water of Krishna Katha. So when we hear this Krishna Katha, this river of Krishna Katha, when it enters our ears and goes to our heart, the desert of our heart will become full of this nectar. That's the glory of Krishna Katha. That is the spiritual significance of hearing Krishna Katha. So, so Srila Prabhupada, he writes that although these devotees, these Dwarkavasis, they were always with Krishna, they were never separated from Krishna, but still they were experiencing such separation from Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada, he writes about the gopis of Vrindavan. When Krishna would go in the forest, whole day they would be immersed in the thoughts of Krishna. One gopi, when she would go to sell some butter and milk and yogurt, instead of telling, oh, please buy, I have come with this yogurt, milk, butter, she would tell, oh, Govinda, oh, Damodar, oh, Madhav. Vikretu kama kilagopakanya murari padar pitachitta vritti dadhyadikam moha vashadavochat Govinda Damodar Madhaveti. That is the absorption of the devotees. Although they are with Krishna always, but still they are having such intense feelings of separation. So therefore, Suda Goswami is telling that when all the Dwarkavasis, when they saw, oh, Krishna has come, immediately they came running, and they, brought so many gifts for the pleasure of Krishna. Although Krishna is Supreme Lord, he does not need anything. Tatropanita balayo raver deepam ivadritah atmaramam purnakamam nijalabhena nityada. They brought so many gifts. It is described as showing lamp to a sun. Raver deepam ivadritah. Sun does not need lamp. But Krishna, who is Atmaram, who is Purnakam, he accepted everything. By his own potency, Nijlabhena, whatever he needs, whatever he wants, it is done automatically. Atmaram and Purnakam, he has to just think and everything will be done. But still, the devotees, out of their love and affection, they were bringing so many gifts, and Krishna was respecting and accepting all these things. So there, Srila Prabhupada writes that although Krishna does not need anything, but it is a sign of love and affection between the Lord and the devotees. It is like a father accepting a gift from the child which he brings with the father's money. Father becomes so very happy. Oh, my child is so very wonderful. He is loving me so much. That is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. Although Krishna does not need anything, but still he accepts everything just to reciprocate with our love. Then after this, the citizens they started speaking in a very ecstatic language. They were so very happy and jubilant. Oh, now Krishna has come back. And now the beautiful, beautiful prayers, they are going to come. They tell, Natasmatenath sadangri pankajam virincha vairincha surendra vanditam parayanam shemami hechatam paraha nayatra kalaha prabhavet paraha prabhu. They are telling, Natasmate, oh my Lord, at your lotus feet we are offering our obeisances. Sadangri pankajam, at your lotus feet they are always worshipped by Virinchya, Vairinchya, Surendra Vanditam. They are offered and they are worshipped by Brahmaji. Virincha is Brahmaji. Vairincha means the son of Brahma, the four Kumaras. Surendra, they are worshipped by Indra also. Parayanam Shema Mihechatam Paraha. Oh my Lord, you are the ultimate rest for all the living entities. Anybody who wants welfare in this world, they should come to you. Ichchata, if they have a desire for welfare, that is only available at your lotus feet. Na yatra kalaha prabhavet parah prabhu. Oh my Lord, you are beyond the influence of time. Time cannot affect you. So if one takes shelter of Krishna by the process of hearing, by the process of chanting, that is a supreme source of auspiciousness. We may realize it or we may not realize it at this moment, but still we have to have faith in the words of the acharyas. We should have faith in the words of the spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he would tell that all the devotees, they should come together and take prasad. And then he told, even if it does not make any sense to you, but just because the old man is telling, please do it. So at our conditioned level stage, we may not understand that how can hearing and chanting give me ultimate auspiciousness. We may have some theoretical understanding. Some may have realization also. Even if we don't have realization, but still, these Bhagavatam verses, these are meant to give us that faith and conviction. Just like Suniti, she was telling Dhruva, oh Dhruva, don't criticize and have ill feelings towards your mother, stepmother Suruchi. If you want something, go to Vishnu. Tameva vatsa shrayabhritya vatsalah mumukshubhi mrigya padabja paddhatim. She's telling, oh my son, Lord Vishnu has the heart of millions of mothers. Please go to him. So these residents, they continue. Bhavayanastvam bhavavishwa bhavan tameva mata suhritpatim pita tvam sudgururna paramam cha daivatam yasyanu kritino babhuvima. Bhavaya, oh my Lord, you are Vishwa Bhavan, you are the creator of the universe, and we pray to bless us by your mercy. Continue to shower your mercy on all of us, O my Lord, because you are our mother, you are our father, you are well-wisher, you are our worshipable Lord, you are everything for us. Suhrit, Mata, Suhrit, Pati, Pita, Sadguru, everything is you only. Yasyanu kritino babhuvima. And by following in your footsteps, we have become successful in every respect. That's the beautiful process of Krishna consciousness. If we follow in the footsteps of the acharyas, if we follow the instructions given by Krishna, then we will become successful in every respect. Srila Prabhupada writes, the good living beings are advised by the Lord to follow his orders, and by doing so, they'll become successful. And one can understand the instructions of the Lord by understanding the instructions of the spiritual master, by understanding the instructions of the devotees of the Lord, by surrendering to the devotees of the Lord. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena and sevaya. So that's how these residents, they are offering their obeisances and worshipping. They are telling, Aho sanatha bhavata smayadvayam त्रैविष्टपानाम अपि दूरदर्शनम जीवेमते सुंदरहास शोभनम अपश्यमाना वदनम मनोहरम. Aho Sanath, oh, we were Anath, Anath means we had no master. We were like an Anath, homeless child, roaming around, wandering. We were Anath. Now we have become Sanath. Aho Sanatha Bhavata Smayadvayam. We have become Sanath. We have got your darshan. Now you have come, we are under your protection, O my Lord. That's why we have become Sanath. O my Lord, you are not to be seen even by the devatas. Traivishtpanam api dur darshan. Are devataon ko dur se bhi darshan nahi hota hai aapka. Even devatas are hankering to have your darshan. Jeeve mate sundar hasa shobhanam. Sorry, he's saying premasmita snigdha nirikshananam pashyema rupam tava sarva saubhagam. They're telling premasmita snigdha. Now you have come and we are getting a chance to have your darshan of your beautiful face with a loving, gentle smile. And you are glancing on all of us so very affectionately. Pashyema rupam tava sarva saubhagam. And your form is embodiment of auspiciousness. So all these verses, they are so very wonderful and surcharged with devotional sentiments of these Dwarkavasis who are all pure devotees. And Srila Prabhupada, he writes that even if Brahmaji, he wants to consult Krishna, Lord Vishnu, he cannot approach him directly. He has to just go stand at the shore of the milk ocean and pray. And he just hears the words of the Lord. He cannot see the Lord. But these Dwarkavasis, they were seeing every day. They were so very glorious. They were getting a chance to have the darshan of the beautiful smile of the Lord, glances of the Lord. Traivishtapanam api dur darshanam, which is rare even for the devatas. And therefore it is said that when we come to Krishna consciousness, we should always meditate on how to get in touch with the Lord. And the best way to get in touch with the Lord by serving the Lord. And that's how we'll become Sanath. We'll come under the protection of the Lord. As devotees, we should always long for service. Serving in right consciousness. Chanting in right consciousness. Anyways, we have to chant. Anyways, we have to do some services. Better do in right consciousness. If we do in cribbing way, then we'll not get the desired benefit. When we are chanting, one time Bhurijan Prabhu, he was telling that what should be the mood during our chanting. He was telling, When we sit for the chanting, we should understand and we should affirm, do affirmation that I have nothing else to do now. Only thing we have to do is chanting. That is the mood. And then we have to decide that this is the rarest of the rare opportunity which I am getting in this day. And we have to prepare our consciousness. We have to prepare that now I am going to be with Krishna. So I have to bring all my focus on the holy names. And even if the mind wanders, no problem, bring it gently. Sometimes while chanting, devotees, they make all types of faces. It seems that they are in great pain, constipation, they are constipated. That is of constipation japa. No, we have to gently bring the mind. We have to pray for sincerity. We have to pray for seriousness, shelter, strength. Then pashyem rupam tava sarva saubhagam. Then we'll get a chance to have the darshan of the Lord. Then these Dwarkavasis, they continue that, oh my Lord, you are separate, you are there, you're always outside, you're always traveling. Sometimes if the father or husband is always traveling abroad for so many of the services, job, when he comes back, the relatives, they tell, Papa, you're always outside only. You never stay with us. So for Dwarkavasis, Krishna is their mother, father, everything. So they are complaining. Your separation is unbearable for us. You're always traveling abroad. Sometimes you are going to Mathura, sometimes Vrindavan, sometimes Hastinapur. So Acharyas, they tell that this shows that Krishna would go to Vrindavan also sometimes. Although it is not mentioned explicitly everywhere, but this verse is an indication. And in the 9th verse, it is said like that. So he's telling that, they are telling that when you are not here, even a moment of association seems like a whole yuga. Shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virhenami yugaitam nimeshena chakshusha pravrishaitam. That's the mood of these Dwarkavasis. And they're telling that, oh my Lord, if you are not there, our eyes, they're useless. Just like if the sun is not there, what is the use of eyes? You may say light will be there, bulb, electricity, but if there is no electricity also, no sun, what is the use of eyes? So that's what these Dwarkavasis, they are telling. They are so very eager, although they were with Krishna every day, still they are thinking like this. Katham vayam nath chiroshite tvai prapanya drishta khilapatapashoshanam जीवेमते सुंदरहा सशोभनम अपश्यमाना वदनम मनोहरम. Katham, oh my Lord, now how can we exist without you? How we will maintain our lives? That is the intense feeling of separation. कैसे रहेंगे हम जीवित? If we are not there, how we will maintain our lives? We are not able to see your prasanna drishtya akhiltapa soshanam. We are not able to see your beautiful smiling face. That is the only hope for our existence, oh my Lord. Without your darshan, we are dead. Apashyamana vadanam manoharam. When you are not there, we are not able to have your darshan. It is so very sad situation. So Lord, after he heard all these beautiful prayers, he acknowledged all their greetings. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, says, attraction of the Lord is so powerful that if somebody gets attracted to Krishna even once, he cannot leave him. That is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. If somebody comes to Krishna even once, tastes the rasa of bhakti even once, ek baar bhi, if you have tasted that ras, and we all have tasted, kabhi na kabhi, during some yatras, during some festival, sometimes during our chanting, something comes up, some realization, some glimpse of the spiritual bliss. If somebody has tasted even once, he will never be able to leave Krishna consciousness. न वै जनो जातु कथंचन व्रजे मुकुंद सेव्यन्यवदंग संस्कृतिं स्मरण मुकुंदांघ्रि उपगूहनम पुनः विहातुमिच्छे नरसग्रहोचना. We discussed in the 5th chapter in the 1st canto. If somebody has tasted this Krishna Katha, Krishna Kirtan, the rasa which is there in this, he will never be able to leave. He'll be haunted by the rasa. He'll be haunted by the ghost of rasa. You know, sometimes some people are haunted by ghosts. Devotees are haunted. Devotee will be haunted by the ghost of rasa if he wants to go away from Krishna consciousness. That is our hope. Even if we want to leave Krishna consciousness, Krishna will not allow us to leave. Krishna kahe ama bhaje mage vishay sukh amrit chhadi vishay mage ei bada murkh tami vigyai murkh vishay ke na diba swacharnamrit diya vishay bhulaiva. Krishna is telling, he is worshipping me and he is wanting sense gratification. I will not give him sense gratification. I'll give him my mercy. से भक्त धन्य जना छाड़े प्रभुर चरण से प्रभु धन्य जना छाड़े निज जन. That Lord is great who never leaves his devotee, and that devotee is also so very fortunate who never leaves the Lord. दुर्दैव सेवक यदि जाए अन्य स्थाने से प्रभु धन्य तारे चूले धरियाने. By chance, by some unfortunate condition, if a devotee thinks bahut ho gaya, you know, enough of this Krishna consciousness, I want to go and live my life freely. Every day so many things are there, I have to chant, I have to do so many things, and devotees are there coming, do this seva, and I am fed up of all this, I want to go away. Sei Prabhu dhanya tare chule dhariyane. Krishna will bring that devotee back by holding on his shikha. That is the hope for all of us. Even if we want to go away, Krishna will not allow us to leave. That is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. So Krishna entered the city of Dwarka, and Sut Goswami tells that just like Bhogavati is the capital of the Naga, the lower planetary systems where Nagas, the snakes, they stay. Just like the Bhogavati is protected by Nagas, Dwarka was protected by the descendants of Vrishnis. So many descendants were there. Dasharha, Andhaka, Vrishni, Bhoja, Madhu, Kukura. You know, so many dynasties were there. And all these were as strong as Krishna. And they all were protecting this Dwarka. In the Dwarka, there were beautiful gardens, beautiful parks, various wonderful crossroads, reservoirs of water filled with crystal clear water. And Prabhupada writes in the purport, the perfection of human civilization is made possible by utilizing the gifts of nature. Everything was natural, organic. You know, there was no plastic there. Everything, all the decorations were with all the things which were available nearby. Prabhupada writes very nicely, he tells that there is no mention of mills and factories in this translation, in this verse. You know, there is no mention of slaughterhouses in this verse. They are not required. A human being can be satisfied by just staying with the nature. And then Prabhupada calls the factories as Ugra Karma. And then he tells that, you know, nowadays, so he says there are some pious trees and there are some impious trees. Pious trees means which have fruits and flowers. Impious trees means only leaves, decorative leaves. And Prabhupada writes, nowadays, you know, all these government, they are planting impious trees on the roadsides, which have no flowers and no fruits. That is the modern civilization. This entire Dwarka was decorated because Krishna was coming. And it was decorated with flags and festoons and various flower garlands. The flags were having the symbols of Garuda and Hanumanji, the greatest of the devotees of the Lord. Sud Goswami tells that there were subways, subways, highways, and lanes and markets, and so many of the other very high-rise structures. Public meeting places were there. Srila Prabhupada writes that from this description we can understand that Dwarka was not a small city. It was a huge city having highways and subways also. That was the glorious position of Dwarka. And when everybody came to know that, oh, Krishna is returning, all the Dwarkavasis, they decorated their houses. On every door, they had put nice garlands. They had, put various mango leaves and various seeds, unbroken grains were strewn everywhere. These are all auspicious things. Prabhupada writes. The process of reception in the Vedic times was not like the modern times. It was not at all dry. In the Vedic times, the reception was full of so many things. They would offer fruits, they would offer garlands, they would offer nice sandalwood paste. It was not like just today's reception, which is all dry, which has nothing. That was the glory of Vedic culture. Prabhupada writes, without distribution of food, no function is complete. That's why in the Vedic times, whenever any function is organized, food would be distributed to all the brahmanas, all the guests, even to the animals and all the chandalas and the lower caste people. And then Krishna entered the Dwarka city and he met with all his relatives, all the family members of Krishna. They were so very happy and overwhelmed with joy when they came to know that, oh, Krishna has come. And Sud Goswami mentions the names of all the relatives who were there, starting from Vasudev, Devaki, Akrura, then Ugrasen was there, Balramji was there, all the other associates, they were overwhelmed, happy. All the sons of Krishna were also there. And they all came and they offered their respects, and Krishna reciprocated with them accordingly. Krishna, those who were elder, Krishna bowed down to them, and those who were equal, Krishna embraced. And the younger people, they offered their respects to Krishna. All their offerings, they were saturated with affection. It was not just a lip service they were doing, they were full of affection. Pranayagata vatsala sadhvasaha. It was full of affection and love. And when all these residents and the family members, they offered their respects, Krishna, he reciprocated with them very nicely. And then all the other sections of the community also came, the dancers, then artists and singers, and everybody came and they glorified the Supreme Lord. Bhagavams tatra bandhunam pauranam anuvartinam yatha vidhi upasangamya sarvesham manamadade. Yatha vidhi upasangamya. According to their position, Krishna, he reciprocated with them. This is very, very important. Yatha vidhi upasangamya. We have to reciprocate with all the devotees, give respect to all the devotees according to their position. Everyone deserves respect. Even if somebody is not a devotee, still he should be respected. It is not that if somebody is devotee only, then will be respect. No. Everybody should be respected because they are connected to the Supreme Lord. Even a broom is respected in Vedic culture. Even a broom is not touched by the leg. That's the wonderful Vedic culture. Everything is respected in the Vedic culture. If a sannyasi comes along with his servant, So sannyasi will be also offered all the respects, and the servant of that sannyasi will be also given respects, but according to his position. Just like if sannyasi is coming and you are offering respects to the disciple, the servant in front of the sannyasi, servant will not feel good. It will be embarrassing for him. So everybody should be respected according to the position. So Lord greeted all these people accordingly, smiling, and sometimes he bowed his head. He offered benedictions to some people, and that's how he reciprocated. Srila Prabhupada, he writes in the purport, Krishna, he incarnates and takes so many of the forms just to fulfill the desires of his devotees. Yad yad dhyat urugaya vibhavayanti tattad vapu pranayase sadanugrahaya. Whatever form a devotee wants, Krishna appears in that form. So Krishna is such a wonderful God. Krishna is ready to adjust according to the will of his devotees. But when he adjusts, when the devotee adjusts according to the will of the Lord. The Pandavas, they were malleable to the will of the Lord, so Krishna was doing everything for the Pandavas. Saratya parashad sevana sakhya dautya virasana nugamana stavana pranaman snigdheshu pandushu jagat pranatim cha vishno bhaktim karoti nripatis charanaravinde. Snigdha. Snigdha means having the quality of ghee. Snigdha also means affection. They were affectionate to Krishna. They were malleable to the will of Krishna. Snigdheshu pandushu jagat pranatim cha Vishnu. They were offering all respects to Krishna. They were doing everything for Krishna. Therefore, Krishna was becoming their chariot driver, their associate, their messenger, everything. So it depends on us. How we are surrendering ourselves. According to our extent of surrender, Krishna will reciprocate accordingly. Krishna will manifest realizations in our heart according to the extent of our seriousness, our sincerity, and our surrender to the Supreme Lord. So Krishna is just eager to see how much we are struggling to come close to him. If we are struggling, it does not matter if we chant attentively or not. Are we struggling to chant attentively? That is what Krishna recognizes. It is natural in our conditioned state, mind will go everywhere. Are we bringing the back mind? Are we bringing the mind back to the holy names again and again? That is what Krishna notices. And then dadami buddhi yogam tam, then Krishna will show mercy. Yatha vidhi upasangamya. So just like Krishna gave respects to everybody according to their status, Krishna will reciprocate with all the devotees, all of us, according to our status of consciousness. And then again, the beautiful verses are coming now. Krishna is entering Dwarka. He entered the city, and all the Brahmanas, they are accompanying Krishna, glorifying him, chanting beautiful prayers in the glorification of the Lord. Everybody is glorifying the Lord. Actually, when we glorify the Lord, we also are glorified. Living entities are glorified when they glorify the Supreme Lord, because that is the constitutional position. Jivera Swarupa Hoye Krishnera Nityadas. A part of the machine, if it is situated in the proper place, then that part of the machine is also glorified, because that is serving the proper purpose. Everybody was glorifying the Supreme Lord. Now, all the ladies, all the Dwarkavasis, the ladies of Dwarka, they were also great devotees. They came to know Krishna, Lord Krishna has come. They came running. but they could not come in public. So they climbed to the top of the palaces, just like we heard in the Hastinapur also, Leela. All the ladies, they climbed to the top of the palaces. And here also, all the Dwarka ladies, they went to the rooftops and they are glorifying Krishna. Rajamarge gate Krishne Dwarkayam kulastriyah harmyani aruruhur vipra tad ikshana mahotsavah. So this is a very beautiful line. Tad ikshan mahotsava. So Rajmarge gate Krishne, when Krishna was walking through the Rajmarg, the highways of Dwarka. So Dwarka kulastriya, they harmyani aruruhu. Harmyani means rooftops. They went to the rooftops. Tad ikshan mahotsava, just to behold the beautiful form of Krishna, because tad ikshan mahotsava. Just looking at the beautiful form of Krishna is a festival for the eyes. Prabhupada writes in the purport, to have a look at the Lord is a great festive occasion for the eyes. Actually, Prabhupada writes that, and it was considered by the metropolitan ladies of Dwarka. They were great devotees of the Lord. And Prabhupada writes, this is still followed by the devout ladies of India. He writes that especially during the days of Jhulan and Janmashtami, we find that the ladies of India, they still throng up in great numbers in the temple of the Supreme Lord. So that is the beauty of Krishna consciousness, So these ladies, because they had the natural attraction and affection and love for Krishna, all these ladies, they got up to the roof just to have darshan. Tad ikshan mahotsava. They did not mix with the crowd. Prabhupada writes, because female respectability is preserved when more elegantly when they are kept separately. Prabhupada writes in the purport. Of course, in current times, many times it is not possible. So then the beauty of the Lord is described. Although these ladies, these Dwarkavasis, they were looking at Krishna every day, having darshan of Krishna every day, still they were not satiated. Nityam nirikshamananam yadapi dwarakaukasam na vitripyanti hidrisham shriyo dhamangamachutam. Nityam nirikshamananam. They were having darshan of the Lord every day. Nitya. यद्यपि द्वारकाukasam, अरे द्वारका वासियों को नित्य दर्शन होता था भगवान, still na vitripyanti, they were not satisfied, because Krishna is the abode of goddess of fortune. Krishna is the abode of all loveliness. Krishna is the abode of all fame. Lavanya sarama samordhamananya siddham. He is the abode of all beauty. Drigpi pibanti anusava bhinavam durapam. The gopis would drink this nectar every day. Now vitripyanti, that's the beauty of Krishna. Krishna Katha is the only thing which can satisfy our mind. Krishna Katha is the only thing which can satisfy our ears. Krishna's beautiful form can satisfy the hankering to see beautiful things. Nothing in this world can satisfy our hankering, only Krishna Katha. But the beautiful feature of Krishna Katha is, although this is the only thing which satisfies, but still nobody gets satisfied hearing Krishna Katha. I want more. Na vitripyanti, I am not satisfied. That is what Shukdev Parikshit Maharaj is telling again and again. I am not satisfied. Please continue speaking. The sages of Naimisharanya, they are telling, Vayam tu na vitripyama uttama shloka vikrame yashranvatam rasagyanam swadu swadu pade pade. We are not satisfied. Continue speaking. Chaitanya Leela Amritpur, Krishna Leela Sukarpur, Duhe Mili Hoye Suma Dhurya. साधु गुरु प्रसादे ताहा यैया स्वादे से जाने माधुर्य प्रचुर. Such nectar is there in Krishna Katha. Such nectar is there in Chaitanya Leela. Chaitanya Leela is like sweet rice, and Krishna Leela is like adding camphor in that sweet rice. So, as devotees, we should try to relish these pastimes to our heart's content. Vayam tu na vitripyam, na vitripyanti hidrisham shriyo dhamangam achyutam. श्रियो निवासो यस्योरूपाण पात्रं मुखं दृशां बहवो लोकपालानां सारंगानां पदाम्बुजम्. Now Sudha Goswami is describing the beauty of Krishna. All the various limbs of Krishna, their beauty is described. So Srila Prabhupada, he writes in the previous verse purport, he says, the law of satiation acts materially. One becomes satisfied and satiated by the material things of the world. Even if somebody likes rasgulla, how much we can eat, one will be satiated at one point of time. But there is no scope for satiation in the spiritual realm. One can keep drinking the beauty of Krishna eternally, but still one will not be satisfied. Shesha, Ananta Shesha, he is glorifying the Lord since the beginning of the creation. Still he is not satisfied. He has not come to an end. That's the beauty of Krishna. Shriyo Nivasayasya Uru. The chest of the Lord is the abode of Goddess of Fortune. Pana Patram Mukham Drisham. And the beautiful face of the Lord. It is the moon-like face. It is drinking vessel for the eyes. Eyes are always hankering to see something beautiful. The beautiful face of the Lord is like a drinking vessel in which you can drink the beauty unlimitedly. It will never end. Bahavo Lokapalanam, and the Bahavo Lokapalanam, the arms of the Lord, they are the resting places of the administrators of the universe. Lokpal. Saranganam Padambujam. And for devotees, the lotus feet of the Lord are the only shelter. So everything is described. Chest is described, face is described, hands are described, and the lotus feet are described. So the limb by limb description of the Lord is given here. So the lotus feet of the Lord, they are the abode, only abode for the devotees. So Hari Katha, Hari Kirtan, Hari Nam, they are the only shelter for devotees. Tadasya Kausha Ravasharma Datu Hare Kathamev Katha Susaram Uddhritya Pushpebhya Ivarta Bandho Shivaya Nah Kirtaya Tirtha Kirte. Just like honeybee extracts the essence of all the flowers, Hari Katha, Hare Kathamev Katha Susaram. Hari Katha is the essence of all the various topics of this world. Whatever topics people may discuss, but they will never be satisfied. Only Krishna Katha can satisfy, because it is the sar, it is the essence. So therefore, that's why all the hearers of Bhagavatam, and throughout the Bhagavatam, if you see anybody hearing Bhagavatam, he'll tell, I am not satisfied. Speak more. Please speak more about Krishna. That is the beauty of Krishna Katha. And Prabhupada writes in the purport that people in this world, they want to see beautiful things. They want to see the beautiful nature. But what is this nature? This nature is the smile of the Lord. They like to hear the birds chirping. What is this sound of the bird? That is a whisper of the Lord. So that's what Prabhupada is writing. How we can connect everything in this world with the Supreme Lord. That is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. मुक्ताहार बकपाति इंद्रधनु पीछतति पीतांबर बिजुरी संचार कृष्ण नव जलधर जगत सस्य ऊपर बरिशय लीलामृत धार. Kaviraj Goswami describes Muktahar Bakapati. Krishna is wearing a pearl necklace that looks like a row of ducks, white swan or ducks. Indradhanu Pinchatati is having a peacock feather which looks like a rainbow. Pitambara Bijuri Sanchar, and he's wearing a yellow garment, yellow dhoti, it is like a lightning. Krishna Nava Jaladhara Jagat Sasya Upar, and Krishna is like that black cloud which is showering the nectarian rains on all the living entities by giving his beautiful darshan. So when now Shukdev Goswami gives a wonderful inconceivable phenomena. Sud Goswami, he tells about this. When Krishna is walking now in Dwarka, so many things are going on. Somebody is fanning, somebody has put an umbrella over his head, he's wearing a beautiful garland of multicolored flowers, he's wearing a yellow garment. Sud Goswami compares this with wonderful natural phenomena. सीतात पत्र व्यजनैरुपस्कृते प्रसून वर्षैरभिवर्षितः पथि विषंगवासा मनवालया बभौ घनो यथार्कोडुपचाप विद्युतैः. Shitat Patra. So the head of Krishna was protected by umbrella from the sun. Somebody was doing Vajan. Vajan is the white fan made up of the tail of a yak. So it was moving around, as you can see in this picture. This picture is based on this one verse. That is the wonderful contribution of the various BBT artists. They have made such beautiful paintings on various verses of Bhagavatam. And Srila Prabhupada, he instructed all of them that you please stick to the Bhagavatam verses, stick to the verses of Bhagavad Gita scriptures. One devotee, he painted some scenery in Vrindavan, and then he thought Krishna should be there, right? So he painted Krishna also. So he thought, okay, now I have to make it authorized painting. So he went to Prabhupada and showed, Prabhupada, I have made a painting. So Prabhupada looked at the painting and said, oh, which verse? So he said, Prabhupada, Krishna in Vrindavan. Prabhupada said, that's okay, but which verse tells us? He said, Prabhupada, Krishna is unlimited. Prabhupada said, Krishna is unlimited, but you are limited. Please stick to Bhagavatam. Don't imagine. So this beautiful one, this painting is based on this one picture, one verse. Sitat Patra Vyajanairupaskritai. Vyajan is going on, umbrella is there, Prasuna Varshai. Prasun means the flowers. So you can see the flowers being scattered, being showered on Krishna. Prasuna Varshai Rabhivarshita Pathi, as Krishna is going, flowers are being scattered here and there. Vishangavasa is wearing a garment, dhoti, yellow garment. Vanamalaya Babhau, and he is having a multicolored garland. It is looking like Ghano, Yatha, Arka, Chap, Udupa, Chap, Vidyutai. It is looking like as if a dark cloud is simultaneously surrounded by sun, moon, lightning, and rainbow. It is not possible. Sun and moon can never come together. That is the beauty of Krishna. Inconceivable things are possible. So the umbrella is like the sun. The two Vyajana, which is going on the both sides, they are like the moon, because they are moving in circles and they are creating like appearance like moon. And the garland which he is wearing, it is like a rainbow of 7 colored flowers. The showering of the flowers, they are looking like stars. And Krishna's dhoti is like the lightning, and Krishna is like that cloud. That's how inconceivable things are possible in Krishna only. That is Virodha Bhanjika Shakti of Krishna. The power to reconcile all the contradictory things are there in Krishna. You know. So then after this, Krishna entered the palace where all the mothers were staying, headed by Devaki. He offered his obeisances to Devaki and all the other ladies and all the mothers. They were so very overwhelmed by affection. They were crying tears of affection. The milk was coming out of their breasts, and they embraced Krishna and showered all their love. After reciprocating with all the mothers, now Krishna entered the palaces of the queens. All the 16,108 queens were there. Krishna expanded into all those forms. It was not that, okay, Krishna has gone to queen number 1, all others, they have to wait. No. Krishna expanded into 16,108 forms, simultaneously entered into all the palaces. All these queens, they were in separation from Krishna since so many months. As soon as they saw that Krishna has come, immediately they got up. Whatever they were doing, they left. Actually, they were in meditation of Krishna only. Immediately they got up, and as it was social custom, they shyly covered their faces with their veils and they smiled coyly. And then they were so very overjoyed that they wanted to embrace Krishna. But it was a social place. They could not embrace Krishna. So they embraced Krishna in the hearts. They forced Krishna to enter in their hearts through their eyes. And they embraced Krishna in their subtle bodies. Nobody could see. But Krishna could understand all these things. And then what they did, they sent their sons. And they sent their sons to embrace Krishna, because the son is a representation of father. So by embracing the sons, they also experienced such satisfaction. The queens also experienced such satisfaction when Krishna embraced the sons. So that's how Krishna reciprocated with all these ladies. And wonderful feature of Krishna was, although these ladies, they were with Krishna, these queens were with Krishna always. They were getting a chance to serve Krishna, bathe Krishna, dress Krishna, massage Krishna, everything they were doing for Krishna. But still, for all these ladies, Krishna was always, newer and newer. Nitya Nava Navaiman. His lotus feet were always newer and newer. Yadyapya Saupar Shavagata Rahogata Tathapi Tasyangri Yugam Navam Navam Pade Pade Ka Viramed Tatpada Chalapya Shri Najahati Karhichit. Yadyapi, although Parshva Rahogata, although they were staying with Krishna always, but still for them, Krishna's lotus feet are always, more and more beautiful. So who can leave this lotus feet of Krishna? How can these women be detached from these lotus feet? Even Lakshmi Devi, who is known as Chanchala, she gave up her Chanchal nature and she is fixed in serving Krishna. How can these ladies give up the service to the lotus feet of Krishna? That's the beauty of Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada writes, in spiritual realm, the relationship with the Supreme Lord is so enlivening and resourceful that once a devotee develops this relationship, he would never leave this. So that is what we have to aspire for, to develop a relationship with Krishna. If at our stage, at least to develop a relationship with some limb of devotional service. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, all these are various limbs. At least if we can develop our relationship to one of the 5, most potent forms: Sadhu Sangha, Nam Kirtan, Bhagavad Shravan, Mathuravas, and Srimurtira Shraddhaya Sevan. Association of devotees, chanting, hearing Bhagavatam, chanting the holy names, going to the holy places, worshipping the deities. We have to develop relationship with all of them, or even one of them is sufficient. You know, सकल साधन श्रेष्ठ ए पंचांग कृष्ण प्रेम जन्माए ए पांचेरा अल्प संग. Even if you associate with these 5 limbs or one of them, it is sufficient to develop a feeling of pure devotional service. So Lord, he satisfied, he was there with all these queens, and these queens, although they were with Krishna, and Krishna was behaving as if he is like an ordinary husband under the control of the wives. But Sud Goswami, he is understanding this question which may come in the minds of many. Oh, ordinary man and women, they also come together, they also stay, and it creates disturbance of the senses, right? When man and women come together. Are these queens not disturbing the senses of Krishna? How can Krishna be beyond matter if he is associating with these ladies? Not one, not two, 16,108. Generally, when we come to Krishna consciousness, we are told, oh, association with opposite gender is not good. It is Hridaya Granthi and all those things. And now we see that Krishna is associating with 16,108 queens. How to understand this? Sut Goswami clarifies this. He clarifies, he tells that, oh, Lord is transcendental to all this. Uddama bhava pishunamal guhasa vridavalokanihato madano piyasam sammuhya chapamajahat pramadottamasta yasya indriyai vimatitum kuhakaina sheku. Uddama bhav. All these queens, they were not ordinary. They were even able to defeat the Cupid. They were so very beautiful. And they were not just standing, they were glancing at Krishna, smiling at Krishna with beautiful smiles, with all the exciting features. Vridavalokanihato madano piyasam. They were glancing at Krishna. They could conquer Cupid himself by their glances. And it was so much that sammuhya chapam, Cupid himself gave up his bow in frustration. My calm is not attacking all these things. These women, they are showing love for Krishna even if I am not there. How is this possible? In this world, a man and a woman, if they come together, lust has to be there, Cupid has to be there. So Cupid is frustrated. Even in my absence, these ladies are showing all the love and affection which is free of lust of this world. How is this possible? Some muhya chap, he gave up his bow in frustration. Yasyendriyai vimatitum kuhakaina sheku. In spite of all this, such beautiful ladies, they are not able to disturb the senses of Krishna. They could not agitate the senses of the Supreme Lord. That is the glory of Krishna. He is beyond the ordinary mundane lust. Kamadev is called Madana, and Krishna is called Madan Mohan. He can even attract Madan also, Cupid also. He is beyond all the mundane lust. So whatever exchanges are going on between Krishna and the wives, they are beyond the mundane lust. They are pure love. There's a short story. One time the gopis, they had to go and cross the Yamuna because Durvasa Muni had come. And there was nobody to take them across. So they went to Krishna and told, oh Krishna, please help. We want to grow and cross Yamuna and go to Durvasa to serve him. We have prepared a nice feast for him. Krishna said, okay, you go and tell Yamuna Devi, if Krishna is a brahmachari, then give way. They all started laughing. What brahmachari, you are whole day with us only. Krishna said, just go and try. So they all went and said this, and Krishna, Yamuna parted. They were shocked. They said, okay, baad mein clarify karenge. They went and they served Durvasa Muni big feast. He was so very happy, blessed them. And the gopis, they asked him again, oh Durvasa Muni, we have to go back, but Yamuna is there. Please do something. He said, okay, you go and tell Yamuna, if Durvasa has not eaten anything, you give way. So they could not laugh because Durvasa was known for curses. So they were confused, but still they went and they said, and Yamuna parted again. Gopis, they came to Krishna and said, Krishna, tell us one thing. First you told you are a brahmachari and Yamuna parted. And then Durvasa is telling that he didn't eat anything and Yamuna parted. What is happening here? Krishna said, look, Durvasa Muni ate not because he was interested, because you wanted to give something. So he accepted that. He is not interested in anything of this world. He is Durvasa. He is Durva Asa. He would drink wheat grass juice only. Durva. And as far as I am concerned, I am not having any lust. I am not interested in any of you. I am just reciprocating with the devotion. I am not attached to the physical bodily features. That's the beauty of Krishna. So Lord is completely detached. And if the Lord is detached, so the devotees are also detached. Etadishanam ishasya prakristhopi tadgunai na yujyate sadatmasthir yatha buddhi tadashraya. Just like Lord is beyond material nature, the devotees are also beyond material nature. Anybody who is a pure devotee, he is beyond material nature. You see the case of Haridas Thakur. Maya Devi came personally to test him. He was unaffected. Arjuna was tested by Urvashi. That is the glory of the Krishna consciousness. If devotees can purify even Maya Devi, Haridas Thakur purified Maya Devi. Maya dasi prema mage ithe ki vismaye sadhu kripa nama vina prema na upajay. Maya Devi is asking, please initiate me. That is the glory of devotee. If devotee can purify, then what to speak of the Lord? But these simple women, they were thinking, oh, Krishna is under our control. They did not know the glories of Krishna. So that is the similarity between Brajvasis and the atheists and the Dwarkavasis. They all don't accept Krishna as God, although that is a different rasa. Atheists, they don't accept God out of envy. Dwarkavasis don't accept Krishna and God sometimes because of love. So that is the end of this chapter. We'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Anybody has any questions? You can please ask. Okay, so I think there are no questions. There are a few questions. Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you.